Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. As you know, this is the general equation for all quadratic equations, where a, b, and c represent some real numbers. Previously, we had solved quadratic equations like this. This will be a specific example of a quadratic equation, where a is 1, b is 1, and c is -1. Today, I'd like to solve this general quadratic equation without knowing what a, b, and c are. That is, go through the completing the square process without knowing a, b, and c. Okay, so the first thing that we have to do, if you recall, is to make sure that the coefficient of the x squared term is 1. In this case, it's a. A could be 1, but it could be any other number. It could be -2, square root of 5, or whatever, right? So the first thing that we have to do is to make sure that this coefficient is 1. Well, we're going to do that by dividing everything by a like this. When you do that, those a's will cancel, and we'll have x squared plus b over ax plus c over a equals to 0. The next thing, as you remember, we take this to the other side like this. So we subtract -c over a from both sides. So on this side, we'll have x squared plus b over ax, and these two we cancel, and on this side we have -c over a. I kind of wrote it like in a funny way, but that's -c over a. And then, as you know, we take half of this and we write it over here. So that's b over 2a. And then we square this term and then add that to both sides. That is, we square b over 2a like this. Now you have to be careful. You have to distribute that 2 to that b, and also to that 2 and to that a. So when you do that, you get b squared over 2 squared and a squared, and that is b squared over 4a squared. And that's what we're going to write over here and over here on both sides. So we're going to add this to both sides. And here I'm going to do it like this. Then, as you know, we write our parentheses, and this would be x plus, and this will just go right there. And this side will be b squared over 4a squared minus c over a. Okay, so I have to add these two. To do that, I have to get a common denominator. Well, I'm going to have to put a 4 over here, and I have one a, so I'm going to have another a over here like this. Now I'll have common denominators, say, so it'd be like b squared over 4a squared minus 4ac over 4a squared like this. And now I can add these because they have common denominators. I'll have b squared minus 4ac and 4a squared being the common denominator. I'm just going to rewrite this over here, I think. So I have just rewritten this over here. Now I take the square root of both sides, and this side would just be x plus b over 2a, and this side would be plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. Okay, now I can simplify this. I'll have plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, and then the denominator I have another square root like this, the square root of 4a squared. On this side, I'm just going to rewrite x plus b over 2a, and here I'll have plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over, see, this radical simplifies. The square root of 4 is just 2, and a squared will come out as a. So this radical simplifies to 2a. And then I subtract -b over 2a from both sides like this. Then I'll have x is equal to -b over 2a plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Now, as you can see, the denominators here are the same. So I can just rewrite this as opposite of b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And that's x. And I hope that's familiar to you, because this is the quadratic formula. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, as-salatu was-salamu ala rasulillah walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum.